All right, this is a minefield that we have to walk through, but we're going to do that. My colleague here, Nicole, is here to talk us through this. Explain a bit more why this is causing so much of an outrage.
Well, this discussion, of course, has many layers, starting with the obvious. This is two men inventing a product for women, and while that is not a problem per se, it does become one when they claim to be addressing an issue that doesn't really exist. And in doing so, they contribute to something that menstruators have long been battling, which is period shaming, the stigmatization of those who menstruate, which leads to exclusion and discrimination. On the other hand, of course, they've been criticized for the fact that their product, a plastic single-use glove, a pink one, is anything but sustainable and adds to the huge problem of period waste, which the world is already struggling with. Just to give you a bigger picture of what we're dealing with here, 200,000 tons of menstrual waste go to landfills around the world every year. That is 20 times the weight of the Eiffel Tower. And instead of joining the movement for sustainable periods, which is gaining traction, they decided to just add to the pile. And last but not least, they're being accused of just launching another luxury product aimed at women who are already paying way too much for their periods.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounds like two guys who wanted to come up with an idea that they could get money for. Have they reacted then to this reaction?
There has been an apology of sorts, let's call it that. They haven't really apologized. They have come forward saying, well, it was never their intention to cause the idea that periods are something disgusting, that they're something that should be hidden. And that kind of contrasts with what they said when they were pitching this idea on this show on German TV, which was that they were living with a bunch of women and they found the scent and the look of those period products in the bin that they shared with them unpleasant. They then said that they were very much pushing for period positivity and that they were actually at the forefront of the fight for a positive image of the period and the destigmatization of the problem. That did not go down well with menstruators, and we actually talked to an activist. Let's have a listen.
Okay.
I don't like the idea that they believe that they have started now this kind of discussion, because this also silences a lot of menstrual activism that has been going on for decades. And even especially in the last couple of years worldwide, there's a growing movement of menstrual activism and people who are actually working in education, in new laws, and they are promoting free sanitary products for everyone who need it. So I think they should really reflect on that and support these movements in order to really, make it good again, kind of.
It's interesting, Nicole. These two men, they got funding for this idea, this project, and yet women say this is something that they don't need. So what does that tell us then, that there was someone willing to pump this full of money when women don't need it?
Well, this whole scandal has triggered a side debate, so to say, about sexist funding. Just 2 years ago, two female founders went to the exact same show to ask for funding for their product, which is a sustainable, reusable period panty. So something that addresses all of these problems that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
And they were denied funding. They went out empty-handed. And they have, of course, added their voice to this very vivid discussion that is happening in Germany right now, saying that it's a shame that even in 2021, we're still trusting men over women to cater to the needs of menstruators. And they didn't only call out the jury on the show, they also called out investors worldwide, because in 2020, only 2% of venture capital went into female-led startups. And those are actually proving to be a lot more successful. So it's not only sexist, it's also not very business savvy to not trust women entrepreneurs.
A cautionary tale to men. Sometimes you aren't experts in everything. Nicole, thank you.